everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, August 7, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We have a time for change call tonight at around a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna quell a lot of rumors. The choiceless truth of who you are is revealed to be permanently here, permeating everything, not a thing, and not separate from anything. Gaganji. You realize that everything is energy. It takes on different forms, call it different names. You got plasma and tachyon, that's all energy. Ions, energy. But the air, everything, is energy. And it's what holds everything together. And every form that you could possibly imagine is energy. Now, energy forms illusions. We form illusions, right? We're energy. Who we truly are in these bodies is pure light, photon light energy. Highly concentrated. And yet, ironically, and you laugh about it because it's everywhere, and here we are on this slave planet paying for it. How nuts is that? And that's why things have kicked up several notches and we're transitioning into a much higher frequency. When you look at this, and you start to feel it. It's like you're walking, but you're part of it. Your energy form is part of all of it. It's not separate. So you really can't say it's connected. You are it, but you're in a different form. So like when you take wood, what does it do? You give it oxygen and you spark it with high heat. It combusts and it burns, right? And what does it do? It gives off heat. That's energy. Fire's energy, wood's energy. The air is energy. The water is energy. Everything is energy. What about this universe that we've created? Energy. Doesn't it make sense that we're a highly concentrated form of cosmic energy and beyond? The balls of light, that's our true form. That when we get to a certain level of comprehension, each of us, okay, on this path that we're all on, we begin to discover that we understand, we start to comprehend that everything is energy. Right? Through the heart mind, we know that it's all energy. We're in this big golden ocean of energy, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. But you're a highly concentrated form. That's why we say that we are omnipotently powerful supreme beings that never die. Okay. And you can't destroy energy. Doesn't matter. So some have said that, well, a nuclear or atomic explosions can destroy energy. It's energy. Everything's energy. It can't be destroyed. It takes on other form. It will dismiss itself and go over here and form somewhere else. But it's all energy. We're a concentrated form of this energy. And once we discover, by being in these bodies, right, that we are gods, the name God meaning pure consciousness, and that we recognize this and we comprehend it. So therefore, doesn't it make sense? And we are the universe is us. And what we've got to do is we know that it's a lot more challenging for us to move energy into form for ourselves, create it into our realities and experience it. That's what manifestation is. Okay? You're the catalyst or the primer. So what happens is that we're so immersed in the material physical world that we've got to find space out of that to really focus our energy to materialize things. You see what I mean? We're distracted so much that we go into meditation. These global guided meditations do exactly that. We move into, right, we get into a comfortable position, we relax into the body, we're not interrupted at all, so we're someplace where we're not going to be interrupted. And we begin to relax into our body, we get a comfortable position, we become as still as a statue, and we focus on our breath rising and falling. In this state, we do have the opportunity without obstruction, let's put it that way, to focus our energy to manifest things. And on top of that, we learn not to be attached or have expectations. We're excited, okay? It's kind of a fine line, but we aren't saying to ourselves outcomes and this is going to happen, so I'm going to be able to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that. Those are expectations and attachments. So what we do in this state of meditation, when you want to manifest something for yourself or the planet, that one thing you're focused on, and you that's a thought, and you send it to the universe. Now you're not going to mess with it, all right? Because of why? Because you have 100% confidence, faith, and trust in yourself in this universe. So there's no doubt. As soon as we experience doubt, like I have said, we block it. It's gone. It doesn't come about 99.9% of the time. It's frustrating for us because we kind of sense it in the heart-mind that we are supremely powerful, immortal beings, but we don't, because of how we've been programmed in the physical material body. And, well, you're not good enough, or depending on who's programmed you. And their opinions of themselves have gone on to the opinions, your opinions of yourself, your perspective. And this is what gets us all miscombobulated. We feel guilty if we have, if we're given something, we feel guilty to get it. Right? A lot of people do. Or we feel guilty that we're having too much. Shouldn't have that much. Which is absolutely ridiculous, since all of us deserve the best of everything. After all, we've created everything to experience. Doesn't it make sense we should have the best of everything? That doesn't mean we aren't going to be challenged. If you let's say you end up with several $1 billion, okay? Or trillion. Now, you've never had that. You've never experienced that. No, but very few people on the planet have. So you experience that. That's, the good part of it is, hey, this is wonderful. Now, the challenging part is the flip side. Where there's good, there's bad, and where there's bad, there's good. Okay? Yin and yang, it's a balance. So the flip side is how the heck are you going to manage it? You're not. You're going to have to find someone to manage it for you. And then you can you comprehend how that plays out, right? Because it depends on how you trust yourself, what the confidence is in yourself, and what your faith is in yourself before you can facilitate anything. Someone came up to you and said, hey, here's a brand new Rolls Royce or Bentley, brand new, okay, top of the line, top model. Most people would be afraid to get it, to accept it, because what? Ego mind comes in and says, where'd you get it? You know, is it hot? Was it stolen? No, here's a pink slip and everything. It's all good. Well, anybody can make that stuff up. See? You see the cynicism there? And it's really high amongst the population on the planet now. You know, people ripping off people year after year, and then people get cynical, and then they get negative, and then they start focusing on it and percolating with it. And the next thing you know, they've convinced themselves that they can't trust anybody, even themselves. So this is the stuff that we came here to discover. About us first, then we start to understand everyone else. We comprehend what we are, why we're here, and that we continue to ascend into higher and higher levels of divine perfection as the gods that we are. I mean, any one of us has the power to shift things. Doesn't it make sense that you're in the heart mind and that your motivation is to discover you? It really is, all of us. But, you know, what about all these people? They're just not there yet, that's all. Well, you know, my husband this or my wife that or my cousin or my friend or whatever, they think I'm off my rocker. It'll take them more lifetimes. But you're aware. See? So being aware, this is about you. It's about you discovering who and what you are. And the more of us that do that, the more accelerated New Earth will come into being. We create this playground for ourselves, you know, all of us. All that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Why do we create play? Because we have to have a place to play. And while we're playing, we're creating. And we create, and then we have challenges that we create for ourselves so we can experience those challenges. For instance, you know what the challenge most likely will be when the celestial chambers are fluid on the planet? What do you think it'll be? It'll be being indecisive and not sure how many years you want to be in the body. I'm not kidding you. Everything will shift. Worries, stresses, and fears. If you're still somewhat in ego mind, you're still going to have worries, stresses, and fears. Not to the extent you do now. And we all know we've been so steeped in that for so many thousands of years. It's not like I believe that some of us believe that they can just go and it's all done. Or something's going to do it for them. And neither's going to happen. And that's why I keep saying it's not a race. See, we're not going to be shortchanged ever. The only thing that makes us believe that we're shortchanged is while we're in these bodies, the ego mind does. And when just in the course of your daily activities, you brush your teeth, whatever, and these thoughts come in that blow you away. You go, but see, you're aware enough where you'll say, those are not my thoughts. Those are ego mind thoughts and other people's thoughts, and I'm not interested in engaging them. So you just walk on by. and they dissipate. So you're not ignoring them at all. You're facing them off and saying, I'm not interested in engaging with you. And it's the same with our fears and our worries and our stresses. Who creates those? The ego mind creates that. And we really see all this stuff happening on the planet. Now, I can see where there are those who are just fried. They're completely fried because they're not really aware. Okay? And they're just they're swimming really hard. They're not floating. And they're trying to figure out a way to stay on top, in other words. And that's where all their energy and everything and time is being burned up. Because they've been so seduced into this facade. And you hear this, and you hear this, and you have this opinion, that opinion. And it's like absolutely astronomical at this stage. And that's why it is suggested that you step outside of it. You step outside the mind and the ego. And you do that through the meditation. You leave the mind alone. And the only way we can do that is by staying in the now. And none of us can stay in the now 24/7, but we can keep practicing till the majority of the time we're in the now. Because have you noticed that when you go into the now, all that stuff is gone? And we're not running from it. It's gone. We know that it only exists in yesterday and tomorrow. That's where it's at. That's its home. Because the ego mind does know that if it goes into the now, it won't exist. So if you were the ego mind, wouldn't you do the same thing? Wouldn't you stay out of the now? Knowing that if you went into the now, you would cease to exist. And why is that? Because you would become at peace. That's why you would stop existing. Because that's what the ego mind is looking for all the time anyway. Peace. I mean, this is a heck of a roller coaster ride, isn't it? For many. It's unprecedented. Oh, all this, all these things going on and all this talk about all this stuff. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's, that's their opinion, your opinion, whatever. It's what you choose to believe. And it is simple and it is complicated from the standpoint of saying you focus on what you want, how you want your life to be, right? Tumultuous, upsetting, challenging, worry, stress, and fear, right? Or joyous, peaceful, blissful. That's a no-brainer to me. Isn't that a no-brainer? Would anybody sit there and say, "Oh no, I want the misery and the suffering and the worry and the stressing"? They definitely need to check up from the neck up if they said that. But this is what we've decided to do. Many of us have decided to go within. That's it. We go within. And you could be walking around doing your things and you could be meditating. You remind yourself you're in the now. That's it. You remind yourself you're in the now. And you remind yourself that all you have is the now. That's all any of us have. We don't have tomorrow. We don't have yesterday. So we only focus on the now. And because you're such a powerful being, you can shift the energy streams. You really can. You can shift the energy streams around you. You ever been walking along, and it's like you walk through, you can't, you don't see it with your eyes, right? But you feel it in your heart, mind. But you could be just walking along, and you walk through this energy field, and it's two ways, okay? It happens two ways. The one way, it doesn't feel really comforting at all. It feels dank and heavy, and you notice it. And it's not you, okay? It's something. And there might be a smell or something that you pick up. That is what is that? That is a very, very, very low frequency in the atmosphere. Happens to be there in front of you. Is it a ghost? Is it an apparition? No, it is a very low grade frequency. And sometimes they give off these odors. Now another time you might be walking along and you go through one and it feels really good, really comforting. And you, not all the time, but you might get a scent or a fragrance with that. And you feel good. That is a highly energetic frequency. So, you walk through evil and you walk through good. You walk through hatred and you walk through love. And this is why we become more and more in the heart-mind, because we pick up on this tremendously more. And it's not imagination. This just happens, and happens to a lot of people. It's like, these frequencies are break-offs from on this planet, from the evil control of the planet for so many thousands of years. It's like the pieces, and they're disintegrating. But every now and then you'll go through one. A lot of people just blow it off. Others that are somewhat aware, they don't blow it off. They just go, wow, that's interesting. Or things like, you're somewhere doing something, and all of a sudden, this feeling, this energy field, it kind of bathes over you, and it's like you say, and then some people call it deja vu, and there's all kinds of excuses for it. But something really feels super familiar. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, okay? It feels really super familiar. And what is that? Well, look at all the thousands of lifetimes you've had. Come on. There are going to be some things in your past lifetime that will seep in. And the reason that you feel so familiar, that this feeling's there, because you've been there before. But not in this life. Not in this lifetime. Okay? But you've been there before, in a different life. Could have been 10,000 years ago, but you've been there before. You also understand that there have been super, super, super advanced technologies on this planet 10 billion years ago. There's so much that has been fragmented and on purpose, intentionally covered up and misdirected. This also comes with this massive evolution that we're in right now. This isn't It's not like we're waiting for the evolution. We're in it. We are the evolution. We're in the process of evolving majorly. And we have everything we'll ever need. Within us, we have everything we will ever need. And all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. All of us do. There's nothing. We create out there. And that's created by how we are within us. If you have a lot of turmoil going on with yourself, within yourself, what do you think is going to be happening around you? Turmoil. Now, when you're at peace with yourself, and you love yourself, and you embrace yourself, what do you think is going to be going on around you? Pretty similar. So, see, that's how powerful we are. When whatever's going on within us is created outside of us. That's very important for all of us to comprehend that. It's like, let's say that you have, and all of us, none of us have been exempt, we're not exempt from this, until you get to a certain point of awareness. And when you look at, say you've got a friend or a relative or something, and they got a lot of illness going on, and you're worried about it, right? You're stressing about it. You go visit them, and they just, your ego mind's there, and you say, how you doing? And of course, you look at their body, and the body looks like it's been through a battle, and it's going on, and the battle's continually going on. And so we worry, stress, and fear, which is low frequency, which gives them more low frequency. Right? But when you look at them as being vibrant, healthy, and happy, truly so through your heart, mind, that's power. Okay? That's regeneration power. You ever notice when a bunch of people get together and pray intensely to help someone, that they go outside the hospital room and they go somewhere? Some hospitals have like little chapels and stuff like that. But they go somewhere and they all pray. They pray for what? That the loved one recovers and stays with them on the planet. And a lot of times that works. And then they call it miracle. But what we're doing is we're praying to the gods that we are and the God within that being that's incapacitated in that hospital room. We're not praying to anything up there. Everything that we pray to is within us. It's like, say someone is ill or not feeling well, right? You get to the awareness level of who and what you are, and you know that you're the God within the body, the pure consciousness. You will start discovering that you can do what? Heal others. Well, they're part of you. They have God's within them, right? We're all one. Some of the particles of existence are much more aware than others. By just putting your hand, we have a receiving hand. Usually our left hand's our receiving hand. Our right hand is our sending hand. We are an energy vessel. So doesn't it make sense that energy comes in when you focus on it through the heart-mind, and it comes in through the left, so into your hand to the left of you, and then you send it out from your right hand to heal. Interesting, when you get really receptive, because you're going to be, And there's no turning back from that. You're evolving, so you're going to get much more receptive. And not through the ego mind, but through the heart mind. And so you'll begin to comprehend that when you do touch someone and you are aware that you are a omnipotently powerful supreme being that never dies, and so are they. They just don't know it. So when you touch another person, and you're aware of this, you could literally engage healing. Now, there are those on the planet that have discovered this, but they hide. Why? Because the evil doesn't want that, doesn't care to have that. They don't want that. They want pain and suffering. And the pain and suffering is ending on this planet. Why? Because of you. Because of all of us. It's the only way that would happen. And when you say that with yourself, it feels good, doesn't it? It feels really good. It's kind of a peace that comes over you. And you begin more and more, as you continue to evolve through this process, you're going to become more and more aware. You might see a plant, right? Doesn't look too good, right? It could be out in nature. And you look at the plant and you go, well, buddy, you're not doing too well. So you touch the plant. Remember, everything is energy. You touch the plant, and the plant begins to spruce up. Leaves are all leggy, and they get real vibrant and healthy in a very short period of time. Now, what stops that flow? Well, I believe that everybody who goes to these meditations knows what stops that flow. Doubt. Doubt is what does it with us. Doubt. Even a smidgen. And of course, that's ego mind. Oh, that's not possible. Anything's possible. None of us have any limitations, as more and more of us are beginning to discover that. We're beginning to realize that we never had limitations. The only limitations that any of us have are the ones that we have been programmed with, where we believe it. It's like you guys have all heard the story of you put a bunch of fleas in a jar, right? And the fleas keep jumping and jumping and hitting the lid. Jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping and hitting the lid. After a period of time, this is not much different than many of us. You take the lid off, they will only jump as high as where the lid was. Forever. They will not figure out that there's no lid there. And many people on this planet, they're in this box, right? And there's a ceiling in the box. And they don't comprehend how they can literally remove the ceiling and get out of the box. So they stay in the box. Just like the fleas stay in the jar. But many of us also have begun to figure this out. That they no longer are going to allow themselves to believe that they have limitations. And that's a wonderful thing. You can see it all around you. There's a lot of stuff happening. And in this lifetime, we've never seen this happen. And we're all the catalysts and the primers for this to take place. So in the quiet time of this meditation, you have it all. You always have had it all. You just never knew it. And now, that door, the lock has been undone, and you've opened that door and you're peeking in, and you're absolutely being blown away. Join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focusing on your breath rising and falling. Listen even closer to your higher self. Here's an enlightening inquiry for you to ponder today. How often do you ignore what your higher self is telling you to do? Do you really believe that you don't know how to hear what your higher self is telling you? If you want to know which voice in your head is your higher self, it's super simple. It's the least threatening one that gives you this feeling of I am safe, I am loved, and I am one with this universe. Your higher self speaks quietly and has a deeper tone and feeling to it. It feels deeper inside of you than you are. It will only show you the easiest and fastest way to the highest freedom. It's not that loud, commanding voice saying this is right and that other way is totally wrong. It's not based in fear. And shouldering on you to do X, Y, Z, or else. It's definitely not harsh or pushy. That says you need to do, have to, go to do, got to do X, Y, Z to be happy and free. It's far more sensitive than that. It's that quiet little voice that is relaxed and feels the most natural to you. It's all about your inner listening skills. How are you paying closer attention now? Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night, the following morning. And we will return here tonight, TFCC call, a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern, and Thursday, August 8, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.